Yes, it's a little different. Most time I'm used to more personalities. But this group is very intriguing, very cerebral, very good thinkers. Good football brain, and so not also football, but then outside of football also.
Absolutely. How does that cerebral nature, I guess, transform into a different athlete?
Well, it helps because in the scheme of what we're doing and what we're planning throughout the course of each and every week, being able to attain it, retain it, or even get rid of it for the next week. Because this week we did it like this, next week it's the same play, but we're going to do it like this. So it's different because a lot of times they hear certain things and it triggers. But it's been good for them because it's not only what are we doing, but why are we doing it, and so there's a good explanation, a good communication back and forth.
Kashi, not working with it again. That's a position known for flamboyant players. Uh, does it make teaching easier? I mean, do they? They seem to have a really good relationship too. They're
Right.
competitive, but it's not. Well, I got this, and I need to be ahead of you. Does that
Right.
factor in as far as this unselfishness we hear everybody talking about?
Well, normally you have to deal with certain people, whether they have a big character or not, but you still have to reach them as a coach and as a player. So there has to be a connection, a level of respect, a level of trust. And so once you get to that point, then you're able to teach them no matter what the character issues are. But it helps this transition, it helps smooth it because it's very engaging conversations, for as coaching and teaching and getting points done. And so really staying on schedule in meetings. Those things are good, but it is a great group. The culture of the group is, within that receiver room. Coach McCarthy sets the culture of the team, but within that room, Coop has done a good job of just talking to the younger guys and bringing them along. There's a lot of mutual respect amongst the guys, and there's a lot of unselfishness. We're winning, and even before winning, the guys, they pull for each other and want them to, really to do well. And so there's certain examples of, Coop talking to CD or MG on the sideline and say, stay the course. You never know. I was in one game, had no catches in the first half, and then the second half against Philly, I have all these catches. So just kind of stay in the moment and stay in the game. Yes, it has, and winning helps. You know that, but first of all, the character of the guys and what they present and how they represent themselves. They're very professional. They do their job and they do what's asked of them, and so that helps.
I think Cedric's probably a good example of that because he's had an important role for a few years now, but he's always kind of had dirty jobs, right?
Yes.
And now he's getting an opportunity,
Hmm.
making these splash plays.
Yes.
Can you speak to, I know you've known that he's been that way all along, to the fans and how Cedric is.
Cedric's playing well. He's not surprising me by any means because I know, given the opportunity, put in those situations that he'll make plays. And he made some plays last year, but just to evolve into a bigger role due to the injury. And so it's just that something that I knew, and even in Noah and even Malik can even play. It's just the opportunities are limited. So for Ced to be in this situation, you have to understand also, for the first couple of years, he stayed injured in the offseason and never really had the ability to really train and do receiver things. So this offseason was really the first time he was able to really consume himself and not have to deal with an offseason, injury. So for him to take full advantage of what he's doing, I'm very happy for him.
So when Michael gets back, how much is this going to pay dividends down the line? Cedric getting the experience he's got.
Oh, it's huge because it's depth, because we know that anything can happen within each snap. And so I have full confidence in all the guys that line up and that are suited out. So you can see within the course of a game, it was late in the game, two guys come out, Malik came in for a third down. So it's not really, it's just the opportunities, right? And so for me, if they're dressed out, I fully back them 100%, and I know they can go out there and get the job done. Oh, no, never check up. You can ask any of my players. I never check up.
Many players have stressed how much of a perfectionist Amari Cooper is in his route running. Have you ever coached or been around a player that's as detail oriented?
I have, and that's pretty much when you get guys that are in the top echelon of what they do, they're pretty much are like that, right? So, but he's very strategic. He has the chess background within that, so he's a kind of a detail guy. Well, I'm gonna hit this guy with this, or I'm gonna do these things to him, and so he's not as animated as certain guys are throughout the week, but it's the same.
The skill set, you talked about the unselfish attitude, but the skill set with Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup. Can you talk about how they're all a little different and how that affords you the movement of different spots during the game and just kind of how that works?
Yes, it's different because not all receivers are the same. We know that Coop has the route running ability and even to double move you to go over the top. And I feel like, CD shows those things also. He's a good route runner. He has to work on some things at the top of the routes. But as far as double moves, getting in and out of breaks with the feet, he's very much excelling in that area. And then MG with his big play making ability and the deep balls and things of that nature and what he brings to us. He's a strong runner after the ball also. But again, those guys are so different that it really helps in the combination of even Said or even Noah coming in and doing the dirty work, getting a third down, catch and bouncing off a guy or taking it and running. So he had 2 big-time explosive plays in the last game.
Do you have a feel for when you might get Michael back?
Not sure Coach McCarthy handles those injuries. And so our mindset is the next man is up, and then we trust you, so you go out and do the job, and we're not going to distress. We just know, remember that what we're taught and what we're coached to do and go out and execute.
There have been times where people have thought it takes a while for receivers to get adjusted to the NFL. CD's come in, doesn't seem like he seems like he's picked it up right away. Why is it? Is he just a special dude, or is that something you see now because of the way the college game is played now, then stuff coming trickling up to the NFL that it's a little bit easier with the transition?
Well, because if you look at it, transition from college, it is a different game into the NFL because you have to be situationally smart. You have to do certain things. Even last year as a rookie, he caught a third down pass and stayed in bounds. So those are things that awareness that more times than not the college coaches control those plays. But the situational awareness and his skill set, he has those things, but his willingness to work and work hard and to get better at that. He's very humble. He's a very respectful guy. He has respect for every person in the room, and you could see that last year, and it's still carrying over now. But his willingness to work and to be detail-oriented helps him.
What were you still defers to the other guys? He still kind of he still defers to the other guys?
Not all the time. Not all the time, but he has that respect. He's going to say what he has to say. Last year he didn't say too much, but this year he's speaking more, and you could tell within the training camp and how he, just kind of blossomed through that. So with that and going out there and making plays and getting the confidence, and the players and his other teammates see that, so that's giving him a lot of confidence.
On that last play, you see him raise his hand. Did you see him raise his hand? What were you thinking, that it's over? Or?
Yes. Well, really, I have some family members that took a picture of the overtime. It's 29-29. They're like, why are you smiling? Because before that happened, CD was on the bench and says, watch, we're about to win this. I'm about to win the game. So I'm laughing, and we're in overtime. This is supposed to be a stressful moment, but he's telling me, and Cooper's telling me, we're going to win this. Don't worry about that. They gave us enough time. It's just the confidence that's on the bench. We didn't flinch, and we knew you give us time on the clock that we were going to go to overtime, and once we went to overtime that we would win it.
What's the game plan process during the week with all you guys and Kellen? And how do you guys go about it? Is it collaborative, and how you guys will come up with things week to week, and what gets in and what doesn't get in?
Of course, Kellen has the last say, but we all have an input. We all have certain situational football things that we do. But if we see something that can get them the ball, Kellen is open for it. Also with the players, if there's opportunity, to beat a guy on the route, we'll throw it in there. So, and his willingness to just listen and to accept, feedback. So that's the most important thing.